Carburetor modifications that I'm doing right now are, let's see, I'm removing this choke shaft. So what I did is I took these screws out, this one, and that gets this throttle, the choke plate falls out of this slit, and you pull it out down here a little bit, and you pull it out the top, and then the shaft pulls out. So after you get the shaft out, you end up with a hole like that, right? Which probably doesn't impact anything. Just that some of the air flows through everywhere, or maybe not through only the top. So I decided to plug those up because I do on most other carbs. I take chokes out of. And how I did that is I took I don't know if you recognize this, but this is a cheap X-Acto knife. Like here's the better one. This is a real X-Acto, where this is metal and this is plastic, so they always break up here when you get the cheap ones. So anyways, I took one of these. You can see I have 1, 2, and this is the third one, which I used to cut pieces off of. So I cut some pieces off. I machined them down first, and you know, didn't do too well on some. So this is too small, and so anyways, I got the first one done, and it ended up in here. You can see it right there, and it's about 10 thousandths over being aluminum. If it was steel, I wouldn't go that big, but I just wanted to get it in there, so like really snug, like it's really tight in there, and it's aluminum, so it's a little forgiving. It won't crack anything. So you can see how that's plugged up. So I'm happy with that. I might sand it down a little bit. And then the other side is the same deal, except I didn't machine it down all the way. It's got like a little step in it, you know, appropriately. I guess if it was ever loose, it wouldn't get sucked through. But this thing's got to get pounded in with a hammer on this side. That way I'll have both of those plugged up. So that's what I'm up to with the carb modifications. That way I won't have a choke. It's never worked in this car. I don't know exactly why. Every time I would pull the choke, the engine would die, even though the throttle was opened up a little bit accordingly. I don't know if it's to do with the wild cam I have and the light and flywheel, or the leak I had in the throttle shaft, but it just would never work, so I just never choked it. Don't really miss it that much. It was okay, so that's why I'm doing this, and I don't feel that like I'm gonna miss a lot by not having a choke. So away it goes. The other thing I can show is some of the things, because I'm looking at these Weber covers now, is these little step things here that they added in later models. This is a model that's not real late. It's got one inlet, and let's see, so does this one. So they both got one inlet, which I thought they were the same. Well, if you look here, this one doesn't have those steps, and let's see if we can get a better look at that. Yeah, this one has those little, steps right here, and this one does not. Don't know why they made the change, but there's a difference where I think this is vented to the float chamber, where I think they're trying to take gases from the float chamber and feed them into the emulsion tube area from this thing. So this is plugged on the one that they put the little step in the vent here, and this one has no vent, and they vent that emulsion tube. I think that goes to the emulsion tube. This thing right here is vented to the atmosphere. So I'm just saying, I guess you have to be careful. I don't know if it matters. These holes are also different sizes, I think. This one looks bigger, this one's smaller. So I was thinking to myself for years now that tops of these Weber carbs, the 30 DIC, as long as it's got the one single inlet like this, that they're all the same, but they're not. There's two that look the same, but they got slight differences. Well, that's about all I got for now. I'm gonna off camera. I'm gonna try to pop this back in, and then can probably clean this up a little bit. And wonder what these numbers are for here. What is that? 1, 2, something 8. Now, I don't think I'm going to go and replicate that for the judges or something, but just kidding. I don't know if that's a price or what that is. So, anyways, let me get that put in and go ahead and start assembling this thing, and hopefully we'll see how it runs.